And here we are, it's Darth Pedro again, and I'm going to go over the improved version of the ship index tool. And as you can see, this spreadsheet has a generic template. The generic template I use to define a structure for every possible thing that we would need. And I see one little thing here that I need to copy. If it's a ship, well, it doesn't need to be if it's a ship, that's the only one. So, but anyway, this is where you punch in your type. And for instance, I cloned this template to a ship template, an open colony template, enclosed surface colony template, and a orbiting colony template. And then these columns over here are a truth table for rows based upon those types of entities. And basically you delete the rows that are gray. So if you look at the ship template up here, I've deleted all the other columns, and then I deleted every row that was gray in this column. And all the formulas work. Assuming that the references and everything were correct on this one, by doing it this way, all the references will be correct on the others. So the open colony, I had that column and deleted all the gray rows, which you can see here. There were some gray rows for the open colony. And of course down here, all of the cargo hold space for all the colonies would be deleted. Only ships can have a cargo hold. So tried to take everything into account. Some basic statistics are reflected up here, and then here are some supplemental inputs. Let's say for instance, these formulas for crew, these are all formulas based upon input variables. Here's a multiplier for soldiers, here's a percentage for police, and then you have the staffing requirements here in these three columns. It comes down and totals up to here. Well, these values based upon some other variables will populate these cells. You can see these are just the totals, and this is a multiplier, soldiers times, well, I have a multiplier here. I want 5 times the minimum. Whatever the minimum is, I'm going to multiply it times 5 because I punched in a 5 there. These light yellow cells are the editable cells for parameters. The other color codes are just for organization. The gray cells are nothing. And the white cells are all formulated. The green ones here are for consumer good consumption. And then except for in a ship, these would all be paid by the home port colony instead of the ship itself. So those kind of statistics need to be taken into account. So colonies also won't have lift or thrust. They won't have hyper engines and space drives. You can see here, they're deleted. So depending on the type of template you have is what you want. Now I've got a unit characteristics chart here, which I'm helping to reorganize the rule manual, and this is actually going to be broken into 3 different charts. The turn sequence for the game laid out there. My ship colony index, which I'm using this for, I set all this up. These are hyperlinks to tabs that haven't been created yet. But these are the lists of the SCs and some basic inventory information I've got, so I can get a quick glance at what things I need to do, where my stuff's at based upon the coordinates, and make some notes here to remind me as I write orders, things I need to address. So let's say I want to build a colony or a ship here. I want to put this ship on the thing. I would just simply right click here, say move or copy. I'm going to create a copy, and I'm going to move it to the end. And now you can see that I've got a ship template. And it was actually going to be SCID, Ship Colony ID 197. So it's going to be a ship, and it's 197. And there we have it. Now, if this were a colony, we could look at have the orbit number and habitability number here to help with some statistics that would be needed to know for like solar power and life support for an open colony, habitability factors. So anyway, you can start populating this. Let's say we want to put in light structure 5, and we're going to put in 100 million. Okay, everything there's calculated for us. It gives us 250 million enclosed volume as the output, and so we're not going to use any of these regular structure units. We're using light structure, so we leave that 0. Hyper engines 4, put in 40,000. Okay, and space drives 4, so we'll put in 40,000 of those. Okay, so so we have a formula here that doesn't have E86. Oh, we don't have a value at E86, do we? Which probably should be E92. Yeah, so there's a little boo-boo. I'll have to fix that formula. So now we can see what our speed would be based upon our thrust. In the column of E is mass, total amount of mass, and thrust. Of course, we're going to have a real fast ship because all we've got structure is just a big balloon. So anyway, this goes on. You basically fill it out. It's a playing aid. It helps you keep track of things and help you design a well-balanced ship to have capabilities that you want it to have.